This is a review of the vintage Caravelle jump hour watch from 70s. First I want to talk about jump hour complication. So this is actually very cool complication. If watch has this complication, basically like second and minute hand can be done in any way. Can be just like a normal hand, or like here can be these like cool discs. It doesn't matter, but what matters is this hour. So basically the hour stays so right now it's 1 o'clock, so it stays 1 and it's gonna stay 1 until time changes to 2 p.m. Or just 2 o'clock, and at exactly at that time when the time changes from 1 to 2, the hour will jump. And there will be this like nice click. This is very satisfying and very cool. So I hope to show it to you. I definitely will show it to you, and maybe you will even hear the click in this video. So it should it should jump pretty soon. With that, there is one little tiny problem that you should be aware about. So if you get yourself a jump hour watch, and you would be looking at your watch at the state kind of like now. So for example, this is 1 o'clock, like 1:59 and like 55 seconds, right? So the jump actually happens very close, maybe like a minute before or a minute after. So like if you're looking at this, you actually would not know if the hour actually already jumped or not. So that's kind of like you in most cases you know like about what time it is anyway, so you just want to check what minutes are. But yeah, so this is something to keep in mind. Despite that, the complication is super cool. Yeah, so it's jumped. So that's how it works, and it's gonna stay at 2 for the whole hour, and after that it's gonna jump to 3 and so on. I love it. Okay. So if you wanna buy a watch with jump hour complication, if you wanna buy a new watch, they are actually very expensive. So I looked at Joma shop just to get an idea about prices. So there was like one Breitling for $5,000, and I probably some like discounted model or something, discontinued, and everything else is $10,000 and up, like $100,000. This is crazy. This is just, I mean, this is cool complication, but why does it need to be that expensive, right? So if you want to get a watch with this complication, you definitely should. So vintage is the way to go. So there was this time in history, like late 60s, 1970s, when jump hour watches were super not just jump hour watches, like all these like futuristic designs were very popular, because like that was this like space age. People were calling it space age. Like people went, like one guy went into space. After that, more guys landed on the moon. We were waiting for flying cars. Like everybody was talking about future. So that's why this design was very popular. So from that time, many very cool jump hour watches appeared, and they were made in all, not like now, like super luxury expensive watches. They were made in all categories. They were made, some were very cheap, very poor quality. Some were very good quality. So if you look at, for example, eBay, what's available, there are kind of like two categories. One is these cheap watches, cheap brands that you never heard about, and Sakura, right? So like don't buy that. These are like really bad quality, usually one jewel movements. There is other category which is like Benrus diorama, or there are some cool Elgins. There are like Tissot. These will so like at 2018 prices, they will set you back like hundreds of dollars, maybe $1,000. But there is a sweet spot that this watch this watch is in, that basically the Caravelle jump hour watch. it's still like you can still get it maybe even like at 50. So right now, well, again 2018, right, prices might change and prices will change, so you can get them from like 50 until like 100, maybe like 125, which is very very reasonable price. That's actually the price of these like poor quality Sikuras that you should not get. That's not Breitling, by the way. Do not get Sikura. That's really bad quality. So Caravelle, Caravelle is actually a Bulova brand, and at that time Bulova. So like I don't want to say that Bulova is a bad brand now, but it's a good brand. But at that time it was like super high quality brand. That was a brand to have. So Caravelle was kind of like what Tudor to Rolex is. So at that time, and now Caravelle is Caravelle to Bulova is kind of what Tudor to Rolex is. So because of that, these Caravelle watches, they pretty much have a Bulova quality, but they don't have Bulova price tag. And so like if you look, so talking about quality, comparing to one jewel movement from some like brand you never heard about, like Lord Nelson or like Sikura, you are getting high quality German movement, 17 jewels. This movement can be serviced by your watchmaker. This movement can live pretty much forever. Yeah, so let me show you how Bulova made it. So very cool dial, like on sides, signed crown, case back, like really cool watch. Wrist check. So on my 6.25 inch wrist, so I have the same wrist as TGV has, 6.25. It's gonna look something like that, like really cool. Yeah. Now in terms of sizes, so I measured the size of my watch. So the size is 35 millimeters without crown. Lug to lug is 42 millimeters, 18 between lugs, and this watch is 11 millimeters thick. So it's pretty much kind of like classic Datejust size. Very. I love vintage watches of that size. Very classic. So I wanted to point a few things. When you are, if you want to buy this watch, look for one thing. So first of all, these watches are chrome plated. These are not stainless steel watches, except that they look like, you wouldn't say that this is not stainless steel watch, right? Except that some sellers say they are stainless steel. With chrome plating, get the watch that does not have worn out plating anywhere. So like look very carefully, especially look here, like under the lugs, that there is no failed plating here. Because if some yeah, so I saw some bad examples. If some failed plating, if plating is gone, then there is this green nasty stuff might appear, and you don't want it. Another thing to look at is so first of all, I love second hand. So here, because the watch looks alive. I don't like date, so that's something you should think about. So I wanted no date and with second hand. Second hand will make this watch slightly more expensive. Not that much. The ones without second hand are cheaper. Also, you want to get one in good working condition, especially that hour jumps properly. So that's the thing about this complication. Make sure the seller says that the jump hour works as it should. Yeah, amazing watch. I love it. I highly recommend in this like sweet price spot where they are. You should definitely get it. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, just leave me in comments and I will get back to you. Thank you. Bye.